Good evening again, everyone. If you are at the bar or somewhere else or had to get outside for a minute, you can come back in. We're ready to rock and roll. First thing we'd like to do is introduce you. For those of you who may be unfamiliar with the Nebraska Greats Foundation, please watch the video and you'll know.
Nebraska Greats Foundation. It's a 501c3 nonprofit. We help former collegiate athletes in the state of Nebraska, men and women, at any of the 16 colleges or universities in the state of Nebraska. You have medical or emergency needs, you come to us.
You know, when you're a student athlete and you finish your playing days, you always wonder what's there afterwards, what happens next, and what services are provided and available to you.
When the cheering stops, their need doesn't stop. It was not a surprise to me that this originated in the state of Nebraska.
It's a great statement to the student athletes that whether they're still competing or not, they are a part of the family. And when a part of your family needs help, you're there to help them.
Those student athletes gave so much to the schools they played for, but what happens to them afterwards?
It means a lot because I know many players that I played with that were even before me and after me that could really use the Nebraska Greats Foundation.
The need is real. There are some people that are on their last dime that need help to cover their medical expenses.
I think there is this misperception out there that all the athletes don't face challenges. And the reality is the athletes that are playing sports at all the 16 colleges here in the state, some of which are doing it and they're paying for their school too. So they're not on scholarship. They're not getting any financial help.
One of your teammates is in trouble. When one of your teammates needs help, it's your responsibility to help them.
It's hard as an athlete to want to say, hey, I need some help. Pride from athletes, and so it's not the easiest thing to accept it, but it's, I think in a roundabout way, they're excited that there is help there.
You don't have to do it alone. And not only will it impact you going forward, but it can positively impact your family.
The most important message to send is this isn't in the arena of competition. This is in the area of life. And so we want people to have the courage. I mean, it takes courage to run down on a kickoff. We're asking people to have the courage and come forward and ask for help.
Every recipient has a story, and I could talk about everyone. And linebackers aren't supposed to cry, but I cry a lot when I meet them and how they're hurting and the help they need, and hoping we can help in some way.
This is kind of puts Nebraska, on a whole nother level in terms of what they do for, and I don't mean just the university, but all the colleges that have sports in the state of Nebraska.
Nebraska is a place that's going to embrace you even when the cheering stops during your competitive days. That's a really important message to send.
I think what the Nebraska Greats Foundation says to this country is what it means to be a Nebraskan. We help each other. Your neighbor's in trouble, you help.
I don't think it's nice that you give back. I think it's imperative that you give back. And so I think it's critical that we give back to these athletes that are experiencing trouble, that have helped every one of these communities in the state of Nebraska.
There's nothing like Nebraska, and that's why this foundation is helping. There's nothing like the Nebraska Greats Foundation either.
Yep, it's a pretty simple but personal mission. If you've earned a varsity letter, you have medical needs and a financial challenge, please reach out. Ask for help. We're there. Since our founding in 2014, the Nebraska Greats Foundation has issued over $500,000 in grants to former athletes in need, of everything from prescription medication, insurance deductibles, equipment, travel to and from critical care, round-the-clock assistance. We work with insurance companies to supplement what they do. We work with volunteer organizations and advocacy groups. We even help former football players find a kidney donor. We never provide a direct subsidy. We simply reimburse providers for approved services. It's what Nebraskans do. Like the guy said, it's what family does. Learn more and read about the lives of the people that you've helped change at anygreats.org. Now, just like any team, we're only as good as the one lined up next to us, and I've got a great one. Supportive board members who volunteer their time, expertise, their relationships, their ideas, and some of them are with us tonight. Please hold your applause as we introduce the members of the Nebraska Greats Foundation Board of Directors. Karen Gustin, Jerry Murtaugh, Boyd Epley, Monty Kratzenstein, they are here with us tonight. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for all you do. Every day, these people live our mission through their great work at the NGF. Administrator Sandy Zaroya, Director of Outreach Ashley Beckman, Chief Development Officer Mike Dobbs, and our Content Coordinator from Two Brothers Creative. Tonight, we have Ben Tompkins, Mirrodin McHugh. We also have Daniel and Matt from Spectrum. Guys, thanks for the great job you do for us every single day. You're rock stars to our recipients, the ones we have and the ones we're going to get. We're joined tonight by, and this is one of the really terrific things about our events, we get so many former athletes here. I want to make sure that we get everybody. So if you're a former Nebraska varsity athlete, men or women, if you're here, man or woman, please stand right now so we can recognize you. Former varsity letter winner athlete at UNL, please stand. We know you're here. Don't be bashful. Come on now. There you go. Come on now. Come on, keep coming. So many great volleyball players that are here tonight. It's great to see Maddie and Kelly and Mandy and Kate and Rachel and all of the great volleyball stars that are here to share with us tonight. I also want to say thank you and a salute to one of my favorite Nebraska female athletes of all time, and yours too. She's with us here tonight, and I found out that she's not in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. She's in 8 halls of fame. One of the true greats of Nebraska basketball, Ortiz Ivy. Stand up, Tees. There you are. The reason that I recognize Ortiz tonight is not just because she's a great athlete and she's a tremendous role model for current and future athletes, but her work in Omaha with the Ivy League's social program is changing lives. And that's giving back right there, okay? It's great to be an athlete, but to give back like that, you're the best, all right? I also want to please recognize the Executive Director of Avenue Scholars. Ken Bird is here. Ken and Annie Bird. Ken, stand up, please. Dr. Ken. Avenue Scholars is one of those operations. It's only changing lives. It's making a brighter future for hundreds and hundreds of at-risk kids, just like Ivy Leagues does. And there are so many of those organizations around Nebraska, and I want all of you to know about the ones that we work with and that we know and care about so much. I also want to say thanks to the #1 fan of Nebraska volleyball for at least the century of this century and this millennium. That's former Governor Dave Heineman is here. All right? It's volleyball. He's a football fan, but football's a distant second. Volleyball is it for Governor Dave, and former First Lady Sally Gannon is here too. Dave, it's great to see you. Thank you for coming. Now, with us tonight also is the future of volleyball in Nebraska. Now, maybe not Nebraska volleyball, but the future of volleyball in Nebraska. We are joined by about 200 10 to 13-year-old Justines, Kellys, and their parents sitting in the theater section with the 2023 Huskers. Guys, let's hear it from you up there, all right? There you are. We're really glad that you're all here, and we want you to really enjoy tonight and follow the words that some of these great Olympians are going to tell you, because it could be a pathway for you in life too. Now, this cause is very personal to us. It touches lives one at a time. Not easy to get a grant from us. You really have to be in need. The care has to be out of your reach. But if it is, we're there, and it changes lives. Want you to meet some of the former heroes of which we are so proud. One of us in person, that you're going to meet in a second, and the other one from her home in California. So please say hello to Brianna Perez from York College. She was the very first female recipient of a grant from the Nebraska Greats Foundation. So we'll get Brianna on the horn from California, where she's so proud to talk about her days as a collegiate athlete at York College and in the state of Nebraska.
Hi, everybody in Lincoln.
How you doing, Brianna? It's great to see you. It's so nice to have you here. How did you get connected to the Nebraska Greats Foundation?
So I played for York for 2 years, and it was a lot of fun. My junior year of college is when I actually tore my ACL and my meniscus. So that is when I had knee surgery, like shortly after that. And then it wasn't until maybe like 2 years later, I believe, that someone at the school, I believe it was our AD, received an email from Nebraska Greats. And they're like, wow, there's this grant, and you know, they could help you pay for your medical bills and things like that, because I still hadn't paid them off. And I was just like, well, I'm gonna eventually have to figure that out. But we kind of thought it was too good to be true. So yeah, it ended up being real, which was really awesome. And it was just super cool to know that there are people who care about the athletes in Nebraska that much that like they wanted to give that financial help to athletes, you know.
Now we have young athletes with us tonight. What message can you share with them?
Sports, they do so much more for you outside of the actual sport. You learn so much. It helps you build character. You know, you learn to overcome adversity. You learn how to work with people. It teaches you, you know, relationship building skills, how to work as a team, how to be selfless. You know, there's so many things that go into it. It's just like learning your role. And sometimes, you know, everybody of course wants to like be the starter on the field and things like that. But sports, you know, it teaches you, okay, how do I be the best team player I can be? How do I support my teammates on and off the field? You know, things like that. It teaches you to have integrity and good character, you know, being able to do the right thing.
So, one more thing, especially for the young people, Brianna, how has sports changed your life?
Softball gave me so many opportunities from a very young age. I played travel softball since I was really young. And I had the opportunity to experience people and cultures and different cities and states that I probably otherwise wouldn't have been able to. So just that aspect of being able to travel due to softball, it was so cool. And then, of course, being able to go to college. I was one of the first people in my family to go to college, besides my aunt who went to Nebraska, and then I was the first person to like move out of state other than her to go to college. So just the opportunity to receive scholarships and play the sport I love, meet new people, just the friendships that I've been able to build with teammates and things like that. It's been really cool to be able to have that experience.
Brianna Perez, ladies and gentlemen, our very first recipient. Thanks, Brianna. Good luck. The next one proves that if you're a gymnast, it takes guts to fly through the air and land on railings or 5-inch beams after a somersault, and it takes a lot of guts to ask for help, and she did. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tammy Harris Duawat. All the way from Virginia. How was the trip out? Any flight delays? Yes? Uh-oh, you had flight delays. You didn't tell us about flight delays.
Can you hear me?
There you go.
I try not to complain.
You don't like to complain, is that it?
Yeah, but it's like that 5-hour layover.
5-hour layover? Look at the smile on her face. She even had to go over Nebraska to Denver and sit for 5 hours?
Yeah.
And you still made it here.
A time change, then what?
2 time changes, multiple time changes. Okay.
Yeah. But I love it.
Yeah. Talk about, how did you get to Nebraska as a gymnast? How did you wind up here?
So I was recruited a lot by a lot of SEC schools, and like Alabama and Florida were my first choices. I had a back injury, and then Nebraska was willing to take a chance on me, so they gave me a full scholarship. So I was like, where is Nebraska? Like, I had to look on the map. Oh, it's in the middle. It's like cornfields.
Cornfields.
Okay. Yeah, okay, let's do this.
Typical East Coast bias. She was a 4-time All-American.
I lived at the beach, so.
Well, when you're a 4-time All-American, we'll look past that. You can slide. Okay, so you were a 4-time All-American. I mean, you had dreams of, did you meet all your dreams? Did your dreams come true at Nebraska as an athlete?
I mean, I couldn't ask for a better athletic, academic, supportive place. It was amazing, yes. So I feel like I did. I feel like I was too hard on myself, but I'm proud of what I've done.
Okay. Talk about your injury. Talk about your illness. What happened?
Great. Well, Dr. Strasburger, I don't know if he can stand up.
And by the way, one of the members of our physicians board is Dr. Scott Strasburger, who's here tonight. Strauss, please stand up. Please wave. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your contributions to the Greats Foundation.
Yeah. I had torn my rotator cuff. It was just something simple. Not simple, but I mean, something that I did not know about the Nebraska Greats Foundation, and he reached out to me on a Facebook messenger and just told me that you guys can help me. And I said that, like, we can help you guys. Like, just reach out, like, be willing to tell your story. And you guys did it. You helped me with medical bills, and when I didn't have a diagnosis for years. I couldn't walk just with even water. They didn't know what was wrong, and the Mayo Clinic gave me a diagnosis, but you guys paid medical bills, the flight, everything my way, and I'm just truly grateful because my life is very good. And I just got married, so
Okay, so Al is here. Al, stand up. Where are you, Al? Al's here. This is Mr. Tammy Harris. He's in the back. Okay, so, hey, Al, thanks for coming. Thanks for bringing her. We're glad you guys are here. All right, so what was it that you had? It took forever to get a diagnosis. What did they finally figure it out?
Oh, I'm sure I had a lot of intestinal problems. It's not like a diagnosis, so it's very complicated, but it's just through, I think now with sports, there's more healthy ways of doing gymnastics, at least. That is my personal experience. I don't know about volleyball or about different sports, but I think there's a healthier way to do things, and maybe that could have been the cause of it. But yeah, I just drink a lot of water now.
Drink a lot of water.
Yeah.
So, what would you say? You had the courage, Tammy, to reach out and ask for help, which is hard for athletes to do. What would you say to an athlete, a college athlete, who has a lot of pride, thinks they can do it on their own? What would you say to them if they really need help?
Just know that it's okay to ask for help. It's okay. And that you're not weak if you ask. And that it's okay, regardless of what you've been through with other coaches or staff, that it's okay to ask for help, and that if you're hurting, you're hurting. Especially as an athlete, I feel like we definitely know our bodies. So, yes, just ask.
Tammy Harris Dimawat right here, ladies and gentlemen. We're so proud of her. We're so glad you came all the way from Virginia, Tammy, and please enjoy the rest of your stay in Lincoln. Tammy Harris, everyone, one of our All-Americans. we've got some really good stuff here, and we want you to buy all of it. And that means we're not letting you out until you do. But we've got some really terrific auction items, and we hope that this is some stuff that not only you're looking forward to having, but just know that all of these proceeds, net proceeds, go to benefit our athletes. And I'm so pleased to have with us Cam Hartstack. Cam has been a tremendous, unbelievable supporter of ours in many of our events and has helped us to sustain our foundation and build a foundation to where we will be around a long, long time helping future athletes. So Cam, are we ready to give some stuff away? All right, the first item, it's on your card. You have no deniability. It's on your card. The first item is pretty cool. Farmers Mutual has managed to get really good seats for volleyball games. I don't know how, but you managed to. 4 courtside seats at the Sports Center, the Devaney Sports Center, with parking passes and access to hospitality suite, food, and non-alcoholic beverages to the October 21st match against Wisconsin. They're pretty good, right, Coach Cook? Wisconsin's pretty good? Yeah, they're usually pretty good. So 4 courtside seats, Cam, to the match on the 21st against the Badgers of Wisconsin, who tend to win championships.
Oh, a little hot there.
Yeah. All right.
What an opportunity here. I mean, this, guys, if you go down this list, I appreciate you inviting me back. Thank you, Jim. These are some items that are only offered here. You're not going to find this on Ticketmaster, correct? That's right. So pay attention here. Could we get some of the board members to help spot bids?
Yeah, we got some standing right now. They're going to.
All right, perfect. All right, with that, Jim, what's this one worth? A couple thousand?
I think we want to start at least $1,000.
$1,000. You bet. Opportunity here for courtside. Who bid? $500, $750, $1,000. Who bid? Who'd give $1,000? $1,250. I've got $1,000, $1,250. $1,000 here, $1,250. Money's on. $1,000 here. Who'd give $1,250? Now $1,500. $1,500 here. $1,500 and $1,750. $1,750. Now $2,000. Hit $2,000. I'm bidding on $2,000. I'm bidding on $2,250. $2,000 here. Got to be $2,250. Hit 22 and a half. 20 here to the bid on 2,000. $2,250. Now $2,500. Hit 20 pound of the bid on pound of the bid on pound of the bid. Oh, do you always listen to him? Give $2,500. $2,500. Hit 25. Thank you. I thought you would. Now $2,750. 25, $2,750. I think they'd give more if you help me. Hit $2,750. Now $3,000. I'm bidding on $3,000 here to the bid on $3,000. I've got $2,750. I'm asking $3,000. Hit $2,750. Get $3,000. Anybody else? $2,750. You want back in at $3,000? $2,750 in the back. Got to be $3,000. Anybody else? $2,750. Get $3,000. You want to give $3,000? Now $3,250, $3,250, $3,000, $3,250. I'm bidding on $3,000, get 32 and a half, 32 and a half of the bid on now $35, 30 pound of the bid on pound of the bid on pound of the bid on $3,500, get 30 pound of the bid on pound of the bid on $3,500. I've got $3,250 bid. I'm asking $3,500, 35, $3,750, 35, $3,750, and $3,750 get $4,000. I'm bidding on $4. Now $4,000, $3,750 get $4,000. I'm bidding on $4 to the bid on $4 to the bid on $4,000 here to the bid on $4 to the bid on $4 to the bid on $4. Get $3,750 get $4,000. Are you sure? You've told me no like 3 times. Get $4,000. $3,750 get 4. $3,750 get 4. It's even money. Get $4,000. I'm bidding on $4 to the bid on anybody else. $3,750 get $4,000. Sold it in the back. $3,750. $3,750. The buyer number 497. 497. Buyer 497. $3,750.
Very good. Thanks, Cam. We're going to see Cam 5 more times. It'll be great. Appreciate it. So that's how we do things with the Nebraska Greats Foundation at our events. Thank you very much for that generosity, and there's a lot more great stuff. Now, it's hard to believe that women's athletics have really been only around for about 50 years. Not until Title IX, the landmark equality in education law, was passed, essentially rebirthing women's sports. It was hard in the beginning. Other than what the law required, athletic departments didn't fund them much. Coaches were part-time, transportation and meals for road games pretty much came courtesy of parents. The ladies needed guardian angels, strong, influential women in the community who imagined how sports could transform a life. Nebraska had a few, one in particular. Joanne Martin's career in business about paralleled Husker Volleyball. She got started about the time they did. And as her talents, work ethic, and people skills carried her up the corporate ladder, the Huskers, under Coach Terry Pettit and later John Cook, were becoming a national power. And then when she became chairman and CEO of Lincoln Insurance and Financial Services giant emeritus, well, the team had a real champion in the stands.
Growing up with my mom, I think she was the most supportive person. She was always there to support you, all of your friends, and all of your accomplishments, and certainly when something didn't go the way you anticipated it.
Joanne was a person who accepted you as you were. That was the core of who she was. Knew you had to work hard, you had to be honest. Very driven to being ethical and reliable.
I truly saw my mom as my mentor, and I saw her mentor other people. And so I think that was one value that I have learned and tried to emulate in my career.
She made people feel comfortable. She made them feel as if they were part of a team. She was a listener. She gathered information before making decisions. She didn't shoot from the hip.
She really thrived on helping people, giving people a hand up when she could. And so I think anytime those of us have a chance to do something for someone else, we should take that opportunity.
She didn't ask people to do things she wasn't willing to do.
She was the smartest person in the room, but she was incredibly humble, so she didn't ever need to show it off. She was somebody who truly cared, and you could see that in the way that she treated the people that she worked with.
She was a great leadership model for everybody, and I actually talked to her a little bit about that, you know, how does she manage that and how she did it.
When Joanne said yes to doing something, she didn't say yes because she wanted her name out there. She said yes because she wanted to get something done. She loved volleyball. She would often sit with her granddaughter, and I loved looking over at her and her granddaughter as the game was progressing, and to see how much she cared about the game.
The one thing that we really admired about Joanne was, here's a woman leading a major Fortune 500 company. You know, our players got to meet her every year, and you know, we talked about her as here's a very strong woman who's a leader in this community and leading a big company, and you know, somebody that dreamed big.
So the diagnosis was a degenerative disease that actually progressed quite rapidly. I think during that whole time, if you had to look at it, she was more worried about how other people were going to be affected more than how she was being affected.
I think our first reaction was everybody jump in and try to solve the problem. We're a family of problem solvers, and I think we wanted to solve it. Certainly was not the situation we were in, so I think it became jumping in and making sure we spent the time together that we could, provided the comfort level, and really supported those around us. I felt like that was her goal.
She was just really, I think, thinking about other people during that time more than herself.
I think what she would want is to let you know that you can do anything.
She would want people to be passionate about something and put their all in it and support those around them to accomplish their goals.
You know, it's those points of light. So I always tell people that I think one of the best things you can ever do to yourself is think about the points of light that you have left in various places. So if you have a down day, just think about, you know, the little bit of impacts that you've had in all the different areas, and you would soon see that there was a reason that you're here. There's a reason that you're doing good things.
Tonight, we honor the Joanne Martins and all of the other pioneer women of Title IX. We are joined by members of their family. Please welcome to the stage Joanne's daughter, Jennifer Bartholomew.
Thank you. Video says it all. My mom and my dad is also here with me tonight, so Daryl is around the corner. But certainly, my mom loved volleyball. We are a Husker athletic family. Growing up in Lincoln, it's a way of life. My daughter, who was in the video, has been going to Husker events since she was 4 weeks old. But my mom loved volleyball, and she went to volleyball for herself. It was her own personal kind of little piece of heaven for her. She had the opportunity to go and spend personal time there. She would believe in the motto of dream big. She would ask you to dream big in anything you chose to do. And I think tonight she'd ask you to dream big and as you consider supporting the former athletes.
Thank you, Jen. Time to get back to giving away some stuff. Cam, come back up because we got a couple more items we want to give you access to. Basketball. Let's start with this terrific training system donated by Bison Manufacturing. It's that zip crank basketball system. It's aluminum frame tinted 54-inch backboard, heavy poles, front crank style, can be mounted close to fences, walls, or other obstacles rather than rear height adjustable systems. 2-year limited warranty on the goal padding and height adjustable mechanism. And I can just see Mortiz Ivy is going to give away all of Ivy League's money to get this thing. I think that's what's going to happen right now. But the truth is, this is a neat deal for anybody who's got a young basketball player. Cam?
Boy, what an opportunity here. And right here, what do you say this is worth, Jim? A few thousand?
Yeah, start at 500.
Yeah, 500, 750. Who would? I'm bidding 500. Pine of the bid here to 500. Hit pine of the bid, 500. I'm bidding here to who'd give $500 here? Hit pine of the bid, pine of the bid, pine of the bid. On the basketball system, did you give 5? Thank you, 750. 750, give 1,000. And give $1,000. I got 750, give 1,000. Hit 750, give 1,000 here to the bid, $1,000. 750 been bid. You want to give 1,000? How about 800? 750, give 800. 750, give 800, 800, here to 800, 750, give 800, 750, give 800. Anybody else? I've got 750 bid, I'm asking 800. 750, give 800, here, down 800, now 9, and now 999, give 900. Hit 9 of the bid, 9 of the bid, 900, I give 1,000. Hit 1,000 here, 1,000 here to the bid, 1,000, 900, give 1,000, give $1,000. Now 1,250, 1,250, 1,250, give 1,250. I've got $1,000 bid, I'm asking 1,250. Hit 1,200, how about $1,100? 1,100. Give $1,100. Hit 1,100 here, 11 here. Thank you for what you did do. Hit 1,000 here, 1,100 here. Everybody else. 1,000. Give 1,100. 1,000, 1,100. You want back in at 1,100? Thank you for what you did do. Anybody else? 1,100. Sold at $1,000. Sold at $1,000. Buyer 268. Buyer 268.
All right. Now we're going to get really good if you've got a young basketball player. For an under 12 aspiring female basketball player, we've got 1 hour of private training with Husker All-Conference and preseason All-American Alexis Markowski. Date, time, and location to be mutually agreed upon, donated by our friends at Farmers Mutual. But here's a chance for your daughter or granddaughter to get personal instruction from what might be a future first-round draft choice. Pretty good deal? Not bad. Start at 1,000.
Yeah, this you can't find this on Facebook Marketplace, Jim. This is here.
I wouldn't look at it. It's not there, Cam. You're
you
right.
bet. I'd who give what, $2,000? I'm bidding at $2,000. How about $1,000? I'm bidding at a pond. Here to bid. You know, and you could write this off your taxes. It's a donation. This is a win-win situation. 500, 750, hit 500 here to the bid. 750, give $1,000. I've got 750 bid. I'm asking 1,000. 750, give 1,000 here, and I'm bidding at 1,000. 750, give 1,000 here to the bid. I'm bidding at $1,000. 750, give 1,000. 750, give 1,000. I'm bidding at 1,000. 750's been bid. I'm asking $1,000. Hit 1,000 here to the bid. 1,000. I'm bidding at everybody see the opportunity here. 750, give 1,000. 750, give 1,000 here to the bid. 1,000. 750's been bid. Anybody else? 750, give 1,000. I sold it your way, $750. I was over here. What's that buyer number? 205.
205. Great. All right, Cam, thank you. Give you a break. College volleyball is an institution in Nebraska. From the Huskers to the Jays to the Lopers, the Warriors, Bruins. These are teams that are atop the charts every year. And they have fans by the thousands who count the days between seasons. So why not, let's give them something in between the college volleyball season. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to meet the Omaha Supernovas.
Here in Nebraska, the stars shine brightly. From east to west and north to south. Every so often, an exquisite explosion of light and energy illuminates not just the sky, but the universe, making awestruck any observer and frenzying a spirited astonishment among those in its presence. And these are not just any stars in the sky. They are supernovas. Welcome to the Omaha Supernovas, the brightest shining stars among their peers. On the court, Omaha's Supernovas are also a rare breed of skill, desire, dedication, and a relentless drive to be the shining lights within a league full of stars. Only a select few stars become supernovas. In Nebraska, the stars really do shine bright, but it's the supernovas whose magnificence defies the ordinary and whose trailblazing spirits now light the path to extraordinary aspiration. This is bigger than any of us. This is a moment in history. This is our sport. This is our community. This is our home. This is our time.
Wow. Ooh, okay. Ooh. How about that? Ladies and gentlemen, our first professional volleyball team takes the court at the CHI Center early next year. Representing the Omaha Supernovas with us here, former Husker great Gina Mancuso, President and General Manager Diane Mendenhall, and former Puerto Rican Olympian Natalia Valentin Anderson. They are here to introduce you to the Omaha Supernovas. Ladies.
Thank you, Jim. We're thrilled to be here, and what a noble cause, too, with the Husker Greats. Having coached at 2 of these institutions in our state and worked at another, there's no better cause, so thank you for everything that you do. And we're just honored to be here and play tribute to 3 of our Husker gold medal winners, as well as volleyball, the treasure of our state. Everyone knows that the epicenter for volleyball in the United States is here in Nebraska. Yes. And when you have a tradition like we have here, we literally are standing on the shoulders of those people that built this legacy. You think about Coach Terry Pettit and Coach John Cook. Thank you, Coach Cook, for everything that you've done. When you think of all the people that are continually working now to invest in our sport, what Joanne Martin did for decades to help lift us up, I'm a product of Title IX, and that first wave of women that got to play all the way through high school and dream of that. And then you had little girls from Hooper, Nebraska, that are dreaming of being a Husker and playing in the Olympics. And now, because of the success and the impact that Jordan and Justine and Kelsey had on the international stage, little girls, all of you up there, can dream about winning gold medals. And you can also, yes? You can dream about winning gold medals. And now, you can dream about playing the sport you love here in the United States, here in Nebraska, in front of the best fans in the United States. We're the Supernovas. We're excited to bring professional volleyball here to Nebraska. And without further ado, I'm going to introduce you Kenzie Maloney, who also works for our league, had to leave early, but Kenzie is one of our player relations associates that works for the league. So we love having Kenzie on our team. And then I have 2 players here with me, needing no introduction. First off, Gina Mancuso-Prosowski. Gina, 2-time All-American Husker. You can see her play in February. Take it away, Gina.
Thank you, Diane. Yes, she's absolutely right. We are so blessed to be able to play here in Nebraska, no doubt the epicenter of volleyball. It is because of people like Coach Cook, like our 3 gold medalists, like all of the amazing fans, all of you loyal supporters here tonight, that this sport, our sport, continues to elevate. And I am absolutely thrilled to be able to say that I can continue my professional volleyball career here in the United States, but even better in this state, in front of, no doubt, the greatest fans in the entire world. So what makes a great team is great teammates, and I'm happy to introduce one of the best. As a setter, she played in the Olympics for Team Puerto Rico and is now a resident of Omaha. Please say hello to Natalia Valentin Anderson.
Thank you, Gina. And as she said, this means so much to us to be able to be here tonight to honor you all. And for me to now be a Nebraskan and play in Omaha, it's a blessing. As Carrie Walsh-Jennings stated, you can't have professional volleyball in the U.S. without Omaha, Nebraska. We are excited to be the new professional volleyball home for the next generation of Nebraska greats. Thank you to all for your investment in little girls' dreams, in women, and making Nebraska the heart of our sport. Congratulations, coaches and players, on your achievements.
Thank you, ladies. Okay, now stay up here. So we're going to exploit you greatly here. That's what we do at the Nebraska Great. Please don't share that with anybody else. But Cam, come back up, because we're going to auction off a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity with the Supernovas. You only play your first ever match in history one time, right? You can't have a second first ever match. You can only have the very first one. So we're talking about history here. And we're about ready to auction off for all of you 4 premium seats, a premium parking pass. And for those of you who tried to park in downtown Omaha, you know that's worth the whole package in and of itself. View the pregame warm-ups from the bench, get a signed volleyball and a signed jersey from the inaugural Nebraska Omaha Supernovas, Nebraska's first professional volleyball team. How about that? One first ever match, and we're giving you a chance to make that a memory. So Cam, take it away.
Jim, what an opportunity here. The first game of a professional team right here in Nebraska. This is worth tens of thousands, right? What should we start out at?
Jerry Murtaugh says he's going to bid $10,000 for this, but
at least.
We don't want to tip the scales.
Yeah, exactly.
So probably $1,000.
All right, here's an opportunity. How many people can you bring?
4 folks.
4 folks?
Yeah.
There you go. So you divide that out. Who'd give $1,000? 1,000. I'm better than 1,000. Who'd give $1,000? Hit bond, hit 1,000. You said 1,000. 1,500. Would you give 1,250? I've got 1,000, 1,250, 1,500. Hit 1,500. I'm better than hit 1,500. 15, 1,750, 1,750. I'm better than hit 1,750. I'm better than hit 1,750. Now 2,000. I'm better than $2,000. I bid 1,750 here. I'm asking 2,000. I'm better than $2,000. You want to give $2,000? I got 1,750 bid. I'm asking 2,000. Thank you. Now 2,250. 2,250, down 25. And now we're both out here. I've got 2,000, got to be 2,250. Hit 2,250. I'm better than 2,000 here. 2,250. Hit 2,250, 2,000 here. You want to get 2,250. 2,250, 2,000 here. Got to be 2,250. You've been with me the whole time. 2,250, down 25. Hit 25, down 2,750. 27 and a half. Now $3,000. Now $3,000. I'm better than 3,000. 3,000, now 3,250. 3,250, 3,000 here. 3,250. 3,250, down 35 here. Here to the 35, 37. Now what? What'd you say? We give 4,000? Give 437.50, give 4,000, 42.50, 42.50, 45, 45, hit 40, oh, don't quit on me now. Get 4,500, 45, now 47.50, now 5,000, hit 5,000, 52.50, 52.50, 52.50, 52.50, now 55, 5,500, 5,500, get 55, now 57.50, 57.50, get 6,000, I'm better than 6,000, I'm better than 6,000, 57.50, give 6,000, now 6,000 here to the better than 6,000. Would you give 6,000? I've got 57.50 bid. Yeah, thank you. 62.50, 62.50, 65. It's 60. She's not quitting, so just help me prod her along. 65, 65. You give 6,500. I'm in it. Thank you for what you did do. I've got 62.50 bid. I'm asking 6,500. It's 6,500. Are you sure? 6,500. 6,500. Thank you for what you did do. I've got 62.50 bid. I'm asking 6,500. Anybody else? All in, all done. 6,500. Sold your way 62.50 to buyer 270.
Thanks, Cam. These guys are magic, and just wait till they take the floor. We're talking Olympians here, man. Woo! Okay. Which brings us to the stars of tonight's show. Nebraska volleyball, as we all know, this is singing to the choir, as we all know, is the envy of the sport. Not only do the Huskers win big, but they have the most beautiful facility and the most adoring fans, and there's no end to them. Mix it all together, and it's one big fat dynasty. But they're great people too. Please welcome to the stage the 2023 University of Nebraska Cornhusker volleyball team. Come on down, ladies. All right. Not bad lineup, huh? Ladies, introduce yourselves. Tell us your position and where you're from.
My name's Kennedy. I'm a junior setter, and I'm from Eagan, Minnesota.
I'm Caroline Garavicious. I'm a freshman right side from Cleveland, Ohio. I'm Hayden Kubik. I'm a sophomore outside from Overland Park, Kansas.
I'm Andy Jackson. I'm a freshman middle blocker from Brighton, Colorado.
I'm Lainey Choboy, and I'm a freshman DS Libero from Raleigh, North Carolina.
I'm Bergen Riley. I'm a freshman setter, and I'm from Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Rebecca Alec. I'm a sophomore middle blocker from Lincoln, Nebraska.
I'm Merritt Beeson. I'm a junior opposite from Gardendale, Alabama.
I'm Harper Murray. I'm a freshman outside hitter from Ann Arbor, Michigan.
I'm Lexi Rodriguez. I'm a junior DS Libero from Sterling, Illinois.
I'm Maggie Mendelson. I'm a sophomore middle blocker from North Ogden, Utah.
I'm Macy Bostiger. I'm a sophomore DS Libero from Perth, Nebraska.
I'm Lindsay Krause. I'm a junior outside hitter from Papillion, Nebraska.
I'm Allie Batenhorst. I'm a junior outside hitter from Houston, Texas.
There they have it, 2023 Huskers. They're going to be here after the event, so make sure you get an autograph because, you know, there's probably a gold medalist in here, maybe 2, 3, 4 of them. Thanks, ladies. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming up. We want to say thanks to Olson Enterprises of Lincoln for supporting the Husker volleyball team here tonight. Thanks to Ryan and his great staff at Olson for helping us get the gals here tonight. And thanks to Coach Cook for letting them loose to come by and spend some time with us tonight. You know, they lug around a lot of tradition each time they take the floor, and they can thank our special guests for that. Time for the main event. Winning a state championship is pretty cool. Winning a national championship is incredible. But winning an Olympic gold medal means that you are the very best in the world. Now, the one thing Nebraska volleyball fans can always count on is something that apparently will never change. This is the guy who welcomes us to every game, wherever it may be, each night, keeps track for us of what's going on out there, sprinkles in a little humor and a little insight with a metaphor that makes him a broadcasting original. He's the only one who's been there for each of Nebraska's national titles so far. 29 years, the voice of Husker volleyball. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. John Baylor. You notice he took a victory lap before he got up here. Good to have you, man. Are you? All yours.
I'm introducing the rest. All righty. Coach first? No? Okay, there's the order. All righty. All right, this young woman comes from Southern California, was not widely recruited when she was in high school. Fabulous setter in high school, and Coach Cook makes her a libero. She goes on to become a first-team All-American, national title winner in 2015. Put your hands together for the incomparable Justine Wong-Orantes. I can't believe Jordan is back, and it is. State treasure has returned home. I remember Coach Cook told me that when she was in 8th grade playing for the Logan View Raiders, she could have started for the Huskers. She's back home, and she's an assistant coach now with the Big Red. She's the captain. She's the most valuable player on the 2020 Olympic team. Say hello to Jordan Larson.
John, I don't know if you know this, but she's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
At last report, she's kind of a big deal. Let's not lose that tonight, okay?
Absolutely. Jordan and Justine had a head coach who's been here almost a quarter century. I was concerned he might be a little late tonight, just assuming he'd be riding a horse here to tonight's event. It's his 24th season. Say hello to head coach John Cook. Our third gold medalist, unfortunately, had a family obligation. She is joining us live, however, from Santa Cruz. She transferred here in 2013 and has been playing professionally ever since. There are 12 American women's volleyball players who have gold medals, and 3 are Huskers. And here's the third. They're all with us tonight. Say hello to Kelsey Robinson. Kelsey, hello.
Hi, everyone.
Kelsey, can you see us? Can you see the big crowd here at the Rococo Theater, downtown Lincoln?
I cannot see anyone, but I'm imagining a nice big crowd.
Well, Coach Cook has a Husker Adidas polo on. Jordan looked like she just got out of practice. And Justine is going to a formal ball after this one.
Oh, great.
So we can see you. Now, let's just start with Coach Cook's comments. Are there any sayings that Coach uses in practice that, frankly, when you hear them, you're like, oh boy, I wish you'd stop saying that on such a regular basis?
Well, I've been out of school too long, so I can't remember anything, so I'm going to rely on these guys. Is this working? Yeah. I don't know about Kelsey, but I just remember the phrase big girl. And recently, Coach and I shared a text message. He was asking for drills, and I sent him this novel. And all I get is, thanks, big girl. And I was like, there's Coach Cook for you.
Now, I want to talk about the recruiting of each of you 3. By the way, Coach, fabulous job getting these 3 here to Lincoln. Kelsey, now here's the mythology, or maybe it's the truth, about your recruiting. You came from St. Francis High School, suburban Chicago, and Coach apparently was recruiting you in high school, and you felt you weren't quite capable of succeeding at the elite level of Nebraska volleyball, and kind of pushed the opportunity away and went to Tennessee and ended up here as a senior. Now, what is the truth on this story?
I mean, it is pretty much the truth. I think I just wanted to play as a freshman. That was really important to me, and I don't know if I necessarily thought I was capable of doing that at Nebraska. But everything in life kind of works out, and I ended up where I needed to be.
That's for sure. 2013. But boy, Gina, she could have helped in 2010, 11, and 12. All right. Justine, how many Division I programs even recruited you?
Maybe like one.
So, I mean, you went on two-time conference defensive player of the year, first-team All-American as a senior. When you're playing opposing teams, did you go up to the coach before games and say, what were you thinking? Why didn't you recruit me?
No, not at all. I think for me, it was just going to a school where like everyone was going to support me. And I think my first time being in Nebraska, like my official visit, going to the Memorial Stadium, going to the Devaney, and even getting a chance to watch a match in the Coliseum, I was like, wow, this is exactly where I need to be. I mean, growing up in a huge volleyball family, I feel like I always had that support. And so when I went to my recruiting visit to Nebraska, I was like, this fits exactly like a glove. So it was a no-brainer for me.
So your first year was 2013. You were teammates with Kelsey. When did you think to yourself, you know what, I can really do this. I can be an elite libero, a position you had barely played before you got here. Did it take a couple of years?
Yeah, I think that freshman year was pretty tough. I mean, Kelsey and Mary Paul Miller really led the charge with that team. I mean, there was a lot of freshmen on the team that were like newcomers in the Big Ten, a really good conference. And so we kind of led. They led and we followed, but going from freshman year to sophomore year, I feel like that was the biggest jump. I mean, first year in the Big Ten, really knowing our opponents and knowing how big of a conference is. And every night, I mean, you can see it every night. It's just huge, huge matches every night. And so I think that was the biggest jump, is like, okay, I really need to put everything all into this. And I worked really hard in the off season. So for sophomore year, I feel like we kind of gained some traction. And then, of course, with like all of the freshmen going into sophomore year, leading into junior year, I think we really like formalized the team.
We'll come back to 2015, which spelled 4 consecutive Final Fours for Nebraska. 2014 was great as well. One of the biggest Husker upsets at Seattle against Washington. They were the #1 seed, and the Huskers take them down in the 3rd round. The coach, could Jordan Larson have started for Nebraska as an 8th grader at Logan Field?
Yeah, she could. I just spoke up at a place close to Hooper, Nebraska, where Jordan's from. And I remember when I went and watched her play, and there was players, the moms there were, you know, at this event, played against Jordan. You know, oh, I played against Jordan. I played against Jordan. I remember they were all ducking every time she hit. We're doing this like, I got to get hit. So
You're really aging me, you know,
yeah.
this, the moms.
Yeah, I know. Hey, Jordan, we are Adidas school now. This is Nike, so.
Hey, I still got a sponsor, man. I'm still sponsored. Shout out to my Nike sponsor.
Was this an assisted living facility that you were visiting when you were?
It was.
Hey, you're not wrong, Baylor. You're not wrong.
Everywhere. They were Jordan's teacher, nanny, babysitter, or whatever.
They just all claim they know or been in the same town as she is. Yeah. What's the ratio of gold medalists to stoplights in Hooper, Nebraska? I think it's 1-0.
1-0, yeah.
1-0. Is it 1-0?
I win.
You win. You win.
There's no stop.
Cambridge, Nebraska. Ratio of National Players of the Year to stoplights, 1-0. Jordan, was it a really tough recruiting process? I mean, in 8th grade, you're trying to figure out whether you're going to do the math homework that night or not. I mean, in 8th grade, I've been trying to spell college. Yeah. How did this recruiting process go?
You know, it was a pretty obvious choice for me. I got recruited really young. I was considering UCLA, but even at that point, this was close to home. My family got to be at a lot of games, so it was obvious. And the tradition, everything, the success, it was a really easy choice for me. So very blessed to have been here and played here.
For Kelsey Robinson, you started at Tennessee, transferred to Nebraska your senior year. Culturally, away from public view, inside the program, what we as fans don't see, how specifically was Nebraska different from Tennessee?
Well, I mean, the thing that both schools have in common is they are really big sports schools. But I think what I felt at Nebraska was just support in everything. It was all encompassing, whether that was on the court or outside, school, everything. And I just really loved the atmosphere in the gym that Coach Cook created, and really focused on a lot of training, a lot of developing. And I mean, for me, it was just a very easy year to give everything that I had to it, because I knew I only had 365 days and I was going to maximize every one of those. And I think in return, I just got so much from the school and from the entire university.
It was one of the great individual seasons for a Husker player. 2013, Kelsey Robinson, more than 500 kills from the outside. Current Huskers should hear this. From the outside, she hit almost 330. And I talked to Craig Skinner before she transferred. He was in the SEC, head coach of Kentucky, and he said, is Coach Cook going to have Kelsey Robinson pass every single ball all season? Because she was an amazing passer. Was there anything you didn't have Kelsey do in 2013?
She did a pretty good job. But, JB, you got to ask her, what school is a better party school, Tennessee or Nebraska?
What's a better party school, Tennessee or Nebraska? I thought Tennessee was an alcohol-free campus. Am I wrong?
You might be right.
I'm only focused on volleyball and academics, so I can't even answer that.
Kelsey, you look very nice tonight. How's my nephew, your friend Brian?
Well, I was going to say, one of the things that Coach Cook used to say that stood out to me was, we're married to the game, and I just think it's funny that I married his nephew.
So now you're in the family, literally, with Coach Cook.
We're family.
What kind of Christmas gifts does he give you guys, or just the obligatory Christmas afternoon phone call? Is he a good gift giver?
I just get the text every so often, like, what have you learned? What can I apply to volleyball? And I'm like, hey, how are you? And it's always volleyball, but it's nice to be in the family.
Nothing under the tree. All right.
Yeah, nothing under the tree. But to be fair, I'm never really home for Christmas, so I'll let him off the hook on that one.
In 2015, things really changed for Nebraska volleyball. Beginning of 4 consecutive Final Fours, and Justine was right there when it all happened. You had a little help. Kelly Hunter takes over as your setter. Kelly, hello, she's here. Anyone know what Kelly's record as a starting setter versus Penn State is? 7-0. 7-0. It's my favorite volleyball statistic. I can't stop saying it. And then somebody, Kenzie Maloney showed up. Someone called Michaela Fecky showed up. Did they just bring a totally new attitude? Did things just dramatically change with these new faces?
Yeah, I think the one thing that they brought was the fire. I mean, from day one, they were like, all right, we're ready to compete. And I think the collective unit of us, like juniors, and then those freshmen was a really special blend, because we had the experience, but they also had that competitive fire. And so that blend together, I just remember in preseason, like we were working our tails off with Brian and everyone that was a part of like all the off the court stuff. And so I knew that we were on a mission to get to Omaha. And so when we finally got there, it was like, all right, let's just do this.
17,000 fans, nearly everybody in red. You draw Texas in the championship game. 3-0 sweep. No surprise. What was the emotion when that final Kelsey Fiend kill dropped?
Yeah, I think in the past, there was always like this unspoken rivalry with Texas and Nebraska. And for sure we felt it, but I think the biggest thing that we took away from that match and like just leading up to that match was like staying together, and I think we did a tremendous job of that throughout that whole Final Four. I mean, there was always the outside distractions. We were in Omaha, there was family, friends, whatever it was, but I think we stayed connected throughout that whole time, and it really showed through the semis and finals.
Coach, I like to say that 2015 was one of your finest coaching jobs. That was just a bit of a surprise, and that team just stormed a victory at the end with all the pressure. You're saying in every huddle, Omaha. Oh boy, I hope I get there. And this team surprised the country and won the national championship. Do you think what was special about that team?
Well, we had a great leader, Kelly. We were talented. And, Kelsey Wong-Orantes here, she told me before the match, Coach, we're winning 3-0. Seriously, that's a true story. And,
It always helps when you're starting liberos.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. We got it.
Yeah. Coach, we're winning 3-0. Why are you so nervous?
Starting DS, excuse me.
Yeah. So, no, it was just a great team that peaked at the right time. JB, I want to go back to Kelsey, because you asked me about how great a player she was. She was so good that she would pass bad on purpose so she would have to get set. So we couldn't say anybody else. So she would pass bad on purpose, and then the setter would have to set her. That's how good she is.
Still does that.
I was going to say that doesn't sound like me, but I don't know if Jay would let me get away with that.
How many Huskers pass poorly? Because you always say that 6 best passers get to play.
Unless you want to get the ball, she would just pass bad.
But Jordan, you arguably were on the most talented on paper team in Nebraska history. I know it's another lifetime ago for you. Do you think she should play in a 4th Olympic Games next summer in Paris? Do you think? Let's just stay with that. How is it physically possible? I don't mean to put this in perspective. To play this sport of volleyball with all the jumping, the pounding, the backpedaling, the swinging, to be elite, captain, MVP, the gold medal team, all of these years later. It isn't another lifetime ago when Jordan was on this.
There's special athletes in sports. Tom Brady's one, Jordan, LeBron. I mean, they're just elite special athletes, but you know what? They work really hard. They take great care of themselves. And you have to play at the level. And you guys need to understand, Jordan just doesn't play, a month for the Olympics. She's playing, these guys play 11 months out of the year. They get very few breaks. So it's a tough road. They're all over the world. BNL, they're traveling. I mean, their road trip for them is to go from here to Korea and then back to Italy. That's a road trip.
People are concerned about the new Big Ten.
Yeah, I know.
That's nothing. We're like, this is just continental. No ocean here.
LA is a flyover.
We're an economy, so it's not like private jets.
I want to know, for those of us who are trying to fight off natural aging, is there like a power shake we should know about? Are there herbs, spices? What?
I'm just blessed by genetics, really. But I do think that it is a commitment, and it's, you think about how you sleep, how you recover, how you train. I don't know. But I think also for me, I've been able to use a lot of my mind. I don't jump the highest. I don't hit the hardest. I've learned how to play the game, and it's about ebb and flow of the match and how I can use that to my advantage, and then just training smart. Now I take really short contracts. As I've gotten older, I work really hard in the weight room and push for 2 or 3 months out of the year and just really try to maximize what I have left. So I feel really lucky, but I think it's just not training harder, but smarter.
Justine, what does it mean for the Olympic team to have Jordan come back? Potentially, for a 4th Olympics. What does she mean to the other players?
Yeah, I think we didn't get much of her in BNL because she was still coming back, but this training block, I think, has been so special because without her performance, everyone knows that they didn't perform it, but I think the way that she can gather a team and lead a team, when she speaks, everyone listens. And I think that's huge for a team, and so I'm just so blessed that she's back, and I'm just excited what we can do this summer.
You changed a lot as a player. I mean, it's 20 years here.
Yes.
Have you always?
Yeah, no, I think that I've just had to, with anything, you adapt and adjust and you try to learn and absorb. And I think one of the things that I admire about John is he's always trying to push the envelope. He's always learning. He's always, being a student of the game. And the game is constantly evolving. And I think even as athletes, we're constantly evolving in how we can continue to learn, how we can push the envelope. And I think if I judge my leadership on where I was here, I was much more lead by example. And then I really had to learn by other captains that have come before me. All right, they're more vocal leaders. How can I be a vocal leader but still be authentic to myself? And what does that language look like? And how does that really, again, just being authentic to me, but really just absorbing, understanding, observing, and just trying to take it all in. So I'm really grateful I've had so many people, coaches, athletes, just former captains that I've learned from. Huge AP. I mean, your knowledge, unreal. I took his ACT class back in the day. I mean, I wouldn't have got through college if it wasn't for his class. So, I mean, it's just like all these experiences that you really just try to take in and really try to absorb and learn. So,
ontocollege.com, ONT.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to, you're pumping us up. I got to pump you up here.
She was wearing Hammer the Grammar shirt underneath their USA jersey in the gold medal match.
Nice. When they hung the gold medal on, I got a Hammer the Grammar. We now have a fifth live auction item we want to give away. So, Cam, come on forward. Now, here's the item. You get to personally train one-on-one. And you don't have to give this to your granddaughter or your daughter. You may want to do this yourself. Personally train. I mean, there's enough age discrimination in this country. I mean, keep this for yourself. You get to personally train one-on-one with the great Jordan Larson. Now, if you're not very good right now, in 1 hour, trust me, you are going to ascend to new heights. It may not even take 60 minutes. You get a full hour, one-on-one training with Jordan Larson in the Devaney Center. Is that fair? Probably? All right.
Yes, I think so.
Huskers, get your numbers up.
Yeah. All right. One-on-one with Jordan Larson. Cameron.
All right. Oh, we got all sorts bidding back there.
Let's go.
Yeah. 1 hour of training. What's this worth? Tens of thousands of dollars?
6 figures. Let's start at 6 figures.
Let's start at 6 figures. All right, who'd give $1,000? I'm betting on here to 1,000. Took it here, $1,250. $1,250. I've got $1,000 bid. I'm asking $1,250. $1,000 here to the bid at $1,250. Here to the bid at $1,250. $1,500. $1,500. $1,750. It's $1,750. Here to the bid at $1,750. I'm betting on here to the bid at $2,000. I'm betting on $2,200. Here to the bid at $2,000. $2,250. It's $22.50. Here to the bid at $20. Here to the bid at $2.50. It's $22.50. I've got $2,000 bid. $22.50. $25. It's $25. $27.50. It's $25 here. Now $3,000. I'm betting on $3 to the bid at $3 to the bid at here to the 3,000. You want back in at 3,000. I'm bidding on 3 to the bid on 3 to the bid. I've got $27.50 to get 3,000. I'm bidding on 3,000. $32.50. Hit 32.5. Hit 32.5 here to the bid on 30 here to the 2.5. I bid 3,000. Got to be $32.50. I'm bidding on here to the 32.50. 3,000 in the back. Got to be $32.50. 3,000. 32.50. 32.50. 2,000. 32.50. You want to be $32.50? Anybody else? 3,000. 32.50. You want back in? 32.50 here to the bid on 32.50. You want to play? 32.50. 32.50. Anybody else? All in, all done. $3,032.50. Sold it in the back. $3,000. Buyer 4, 5, 6.
All right, let's go back to Kelsey Robinson. Kelsey, this is an easy question. Karch Karai versus John Cook.
In volleyball?
Volleyball coach. Strengths, weaknesses. How about this? How are they different? How are they the same?
Oh, gosh. I mean, there's a lot of similarities, I would say. Both really methodical in how they train and how they put together a practice plan and what they want for, the teams and the team success and the long-term plan, I think. How they're different. I think it's just a different beast, like coaching college and then coaching national team, where a lot of the national team girls, like Jordan and Justine mentioned, we go overseas for 8 months of the year and then we come back. And so I think for Karch, it's a lot of like handling relationships, long distance basically, and then coming overseas and watching us play. And so I think there's just different dynamics strategically as like how you would operate a team. I don't know. But both, I've been super blessed to be able to play for both, and just having like great guidance and great training and great coaching is, not everybody gets that, so really grateful.
Coach, you agree? You're a superior coach to Karch. Goodbye. Jordan can chime in. Justine,
JB, I'm having a flashback right now. I did a sports nightly show that you and Jim Rose used to be on radio from Jordan's house in Upper Nebraska. Remember that? You did sports nightly from your house, which would be totally illegal now. Totally illegal now. But I remember Jim Rose saying this. He goes, there's only 4,500 people that care about volleyball. And last I checked, we're at 95,000 for the stadium. So we've done a good job growing it. I just have to plug that in every time I'm with Jim Rose.
Jordan, 2007, perhaps on paper, the most talented Husker team ever. Fair? You might go chime in.
It was pretty talented. There's, what, 4 Olympians, 3 Olympians on that team?
You come back in 2008, no Tracy Stalls, no Sarah Pavin, no Rachel Holloway, no Christina Hotelling. In the middle of November, no Corey Cooper. You got maybe 8 healthy bodies on the team. You go to Seattle, play Washington, perhaps Nebraska volleyball's finest hour. Did anyone listen that night on the radio? Down 2-love, they win the third, and 9,000 plus fans at the Alaska Airlines Arena there, place going crazy, everyone's in purple and gold, and Huskers take the third. And then in the fourth, Nebraska goes up like 21-16, and Washington comes back and goes up like 23-21. It's over, right? You give up with all this effort, and they're up like, and you pull out that fourth game. And does anyone remember the fifth set? Nebraska's down 9-3. Husker fans. And some programs, the fans don't even know the ball can't bounce. I mean, here, they know the score of...
I know. It's unreal.
Down 9-3, Nebraska comes back and leads 13-11. Amanda Gates gets a slide and hits the ball out. Instead of 14-11, it's 13-12.
She went full rotation high line with no block.
And everyone in red just like... She froze because it was an easy kill and it was out of bounds. Instead of 14-11 Nebraska, 1 point from the match, it's 13-12. Place is going nuts. All right, there might have been 200 people in red there out of 9,000. You guys come back together. Schwartzy was on that team. Rachel's around.
Where's Rachel?
Rach!
Oh, wow, there's people up there.
Schwartzy, the glue of 2008, and then the jump serve. You miss jump serving?
My body doesn't, but I do.
We all miss watching your jump serve. Please let her jump. And the iconic photo. Everyone seen the iconic photo? Huskers win over Washington. Was that your finest memory as a Husker that night in Seattle?
Yeah, I still rewatch that match more than you probably would need to know. But it's still one of the best comebacks I've ever been a part of. And I think what made that team so special is that even this year, we're talking about belief, right? And it's the power of a team and what it can do. And I've been on a ton of talented teams. And that team believed in we instead of me. And everything on paper would have showed that we maybe wouldn't have made it to the top, I don't even know, top 10. But we believed in one another, and we left ourselves at the door. We gave each other the best of us, and it was still like one of my all-time favorite teams. And it was led because we had just unbelievable selfless leaders, and Coach believed in us, and we gave everything. And we literally, that Washington match, I think everybody at the end was just exhausted. Emotionally, physically, you talk about leaving it all out there, it literally was the epitome of that. And I'm still so proud. And I think everybody would have said, even though we didn't win a national championship that year, we won. Like, we won more than we could have even, like, more than a title. I don't know, it's really hard to define.
At Penn State on the ropes the following Thursday. They hadn't lost a game all year. Nebraska was up 10-8 in the fifth. The whole state was captivated. The whole state. I remember the football coach at the time, Bo Booney, and morning show the next day, they were asking a football coach, I don't want to talk about football, I want to talk about this Nebraska volleyball team in 2008. It's just a magical ride. You had a ton of talent in 2007. You had a ton of chemistry and a little bit of talent in 2008. Did Coach Cook change about that time? Because you've done so much reinventing and changing. Would you agree you're a different coach now, dramatically, or just a little bit from who you were back in 2002?
After that season, I had to make some changes because...
07?
No, after 08. Because it's been well documented in the senior citizen newspapers. But what happened was, as a coach, I'm like, nothing's ever going to get better than this. This is it. And how do you go forward? And how are you going to be fired up for the next season? And so I had to make some changes, and because that was an unbelievable season and one of the greatest comebacks ever, and just the whole season, how it all unfolded. And you know, one of the really cool things is Jordan became a great leader of that team, and it probably helped her set the foundation to lead the 2020 gold medal team. So you never know the experience you have where they're going to pay off down the road. But Jordan had to lead that team, and you're right, we were lost players, but what a great team. But it was after that I had to refocus, because I was thinking the coaching's ever going to be better than that. And so it's only down from here. You know, but anyway, make changes, and it's well documented. We can talk about that some other time, probably not here, JB.
Part of that story, 2008, were all the pink ribbons that the fans were wearing, the players were wearing. It was in honor of Jordan's mother, who had breast cancer that year. She wasn't there that night in Seattle. She was in the city. She was back at the hotel. She couldn't make it to the arena that night. To what extent did her health challenges that year fuel you then and fuel you today?
Yeah, it's obviously been a distraction, because my mom was the biggest fan and wanted nothing but success for the team. And so to have her travel all that way and not be able to make it, and be lying to say the first 2 sets I was there with her. And but yeah, just having her support and having the support of the team. She wanted the best for the team. And so I think that's just fueled me, and just continue to, I want to make her proud. And I know she's cheering along and has the best seat in the house. So it's definitely, it was hard. That match was really hard, just having her being physically not in the match, but just being there and not being able to make it. But yeah, it's really cool, really special, and still is special to this day. Try to keep her close to me. So.
Justine and Kelsey, we'll take your funniest John Cook story. Do you have a good story about when things just did not go exactly as planned? If not, let's move on.
Can I phone a friend? Kelly Hunter.
Kelly, what you got?
Coach, your favorite Jordan and Justine story. That came from Kelly Hunter, firing off questions.
You realize you're working with me tomorrow. The story I always like to tell about Jordan is she was a punk her freshman year. I almost kicked her off the team. And seriously, she admits it now, which is great. But just seeing her growth and everything, coming from small town, going to the big city, and just growing up was really cool. Now she's back here coaching with us. And, to me, it's the greatest honor in coaching. Championships, all that stuff, this is better. Having former players come back and want to be a part of what we built here. Justine, I remember I helped her get a car. It was all legal back then. Do you remember, Justine? And it drove out and it broke down right away. I had a contact, got her a car, and it just quit or something, didn't it?
So you, with your own money, bought Justine a car.
Yeah. No, I'm joking.
So you help her buy.
It's legal now. It's legal now. NIL. You can buy whatever. So, but no, I helped her get a car, and it just broke down right away. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But anyway, they took care of it, didn't they? We got it squared away. So.
Now, Kelsey, you have been a professional now since 2014, and with the national team the whole way. Are your plans to try to play again next summer with the Olympic team in Paris?
I wouldn't be training now if I wasn't trying to get there next year.
That's a yes. All right. Now, Kelsey, that life can be a lonely one. Playing professionally, playing on the national team, you're traveling the world. Was there ever tell us about a place you were, like at the end of the earth, so you thought, and you just questioned, is all this sacrifice, is all this effort really worth it, rather than go back to America and with the full life that you have?
Well, I would say, I guess my journey professionally is a little bit different. I'm very fortunate to have my husband come with me, and he sacrifices a lot to be able to do that. I don't think a lot of people have that support, and so for us, we've really made it a life, and we enjoy living overseas. And but I think after my first Olympics, when I was doing it alone, and I was thinking about moving forward and continuing on playing professionally, I did sit down with him and have that conversation and say, like, I'm not going to do this without you because I don't want to be apart. And we had that conversation and we made that decision together, and it's been a wonderful 11-year career.
If you had not come to Nebraska for your senior year, how do you think your professional career might have been different, if at all?
I don't think I would have one. Coach Cook, he is actually the reason why I am a professional. He called Karch and said, give this girl a tryout, and I actually tried out as a libero originally, and I made it and got to train as a libero, and then came back and had my college season, and then came back out to the national team and was an outside after that senior year at Nebraska.
Justine, we saw you in Lincoln playing on the national team, and you're just getting started. And tell us how things improved dramatically after that. Tell us how big an adjustment is it playing with this as a digger and passer with this volleyball. How different is the international ball from the ball you're used to in the NCAA?
Well, let me tell you, JP, it's tough firsthand. I think going from college to international, the ball is obviously different. We play with lacrosse ball. And I think for me, it just took a while to mentally get locked in. And I think the one thing that Coach Cook, and I will never forget this, after the Olympics, or actually before the Olympics, going into that training block, he had texted me and said, I always knew you could do it. It was always just a belief in yourself. And I think that will always stay true to me, because it really was. I mean, you play this sport for however long, and I've played it for a long time, and I think just that change of the ball, the change of scenery, and being in a new atmosphere with Jordan and Kelsey, I think it was all in my head, and it was just a belief in myself and knowing that I could do it and really step up to the plate. And so as soon as I got that, and going into 2018, it was a big learning curve for sure. Kelsey played libero, there was just many changes in and out. And so I think for me, that was a wake-up call, and I really took that and just really self-reflected. And I went overseas the next year, developed tremendously, and for me, I just was all bought in with that promo.
Sorry, I just want to say something, because I want to comment here. Seeing the growth before 2 years leading into the Olympics, unreal. Her steadiness in Tokyo was unmatched. If you talk about someone unfazed, I've never seen someone so dialed in and someone just so steady. It was the coolest thing I've ever seen, and to see how much time she's put in to be where she's at. It's really, no, I'm just saying, it's really, and it's really, just to put things in perspective, it's really hard for a libero to get a job overseas. It's really, really hard, and the fact that she's putting herself in situations where, it's just hard. She's living in, more difficult situations than maybe an outside hitter, opposite, all these things. So for her to get a job really overseas and put herself in a situation to make herself better for our national team is challenging. So I think for her to make that sacrifice for the betterment of our team just shows one kind of person that she is, and then just to see the growth that she's had is really cool.
The two television announcers for the gold medal match in 2021 in Tokyo were Paul Sunderland and Kevin Barnett, and they both agreed the greatest performance by a libero in the Olympic Games was that of Justine Wong-Orantes. Ever. National Championship in 2015. Does it compare at all to a gold medal, or is a gold medal just the absolute ultimate?
Of course, being on like the top of the stage for USA is amazing. It's a huge career accomplishment, but I think the one thing that beats having an Olympic gold is playing in front of everyone in football. I mean, the way that we came out, like that semifinal, and you just see like all red shirts, and I just I remember like talking to Kelly, and I was like, we're about to play in front of this, and we were just walking in the arena, and I was already nervous. But I think that just speaks volumes to the way that the state of Nebraska supports and is fully invested in volleyball and athletics in general. So I think that victory in 2015 will always hold a special place in my heart.
Jordan, it's not just a journey you've been on professionally with the national team. It's been a odyssey. You were there so close to silver in London, and then the bronze in Rio, and then you had the winning kill and the MVP award last year. When that ball dropped, what emotions can you describe?
I get this question a lot, and I think for me it's just, I more reflect on the previous teams, right? And everybody that's come before, and you think about how many Olympic teams that have tried, right? And the people that have been invested, and the time and energy, and for me it's all about that. And yes, we finally kind of picked the lock and figured it out, but I think about all the time and effort that's put into it, and it's more of that and the work that's put in. But I really just have to think about Tokyo and why it made it so special. It was the culture. We put so much work in on Zoom. We built a culture over Zoom, which is unreal. I don't know how it happened, but it did. And it's still to this day one of the greatest gifts we could have ever had, because there was so much clarity around role clarity, around believing in one another, we before me, and it's still one of the coolest accomplishments.
Coach, final word. How proud are you of these three women?
Yeah, it's pretty surreal to be sitting up here with three gold medalists. They had major roles. The three best passers maybe in the world. Huskers, you hear that? Three best passers in the world right here. And again, they all have great stories. Just to see how they, we had Kelsey for 1 year, but she made this huge jump her senior year, and that's a true story. Kelsey, I remember you wanted to play beach, and I was trying to talk you out of being a beach player because I said, you're not going to make any money playing beach. So, I called Karch, and look where she is now. And so, we talk about dreaming big. Here's three people that have dreamed big, and through Nebraska Volleyball, and they're great role models for all these young girls that are here, and for all of us really continues to teach them to dream big and be great role models and great examples.
Thank you, Kelsey Robinson. Thank you, Justine Wong-Orantes. Thank you, Jordan Larson. Thank you, head coach John Cook. Thank you, Jim Rose and Nebraska Greats for having us tonight, for being here supporting this great organization. Thanks so much.